All right, we are now on week 10 of the NFL. We got Caden, who's here as always. Brady's back, and Josh is there with the Brady Nelson background. Love to
Yep,
see
shout out
that.
55.
Yeah, Agent 55 right there. Absolutely love it. So
The new
let's
one?
get we're gonna get started with last week's picks right away. Thursday night football. The only person that picked the Jets to win that one was McKell, which good job, McKell, on that one. Like I had said, Aaron Rodgers, as a Packers fan, you've seen him do it so many times, running the table. There's a big possibility that he could do that this year now. It always happens off an embarrassing loss, so there's plenty of a chance for it. Also, Kyle Hamilton just went down in this Thursday night football game, if no one saw that. Anybody surprised by CJ Stroud's play so far throughout the year? Because he did not look good in that game.
Yeah, it's his offensive line fault. They're terrible.
Yeah, he's got no weapons. He's got no line, but still expect a little better, a little fight. But I mean, yeah, the situation's not good with him right now around him.
I think
Josh,
that team will take back off once Nico gets back, either this week or next.
Josh, are you one of those people that just blames offensive lines for any bad quarterback play?
No, it's just
Seems to
he
be your
he's
reasoning with
clearly not the
Smith.
first person to blame. It's pretty obvious.
No, but he's not the last either.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
say he's the last either, but he would be number 4 or 5 on the list before you get to Stroud.
The only person on that team that can consistently go week in and week out and ball is Joe Mixon, which I'm surprised he's been as healthy as he has throughout the year, you know.
Wasn't he hurt for like 4 weeks?
Yeah, that is true. He was hurt for like 4 weeks. I just remembered that, but he's still been balling. I don't know. I put him in that tier with like Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, and then you got the three-headed monsters and Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, and Christian McCaffrey when healthy in the NFL for running back tiers.
Bijan, Gibbs,
Yeah, they're in tier two. Would you agree?
yeah, Kamara maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alvin Kamara is up there too. It's literally just a big drop off between those three ones and then the next round of probably six or seven. Then it's a big drop off after that. Um, anyway, Falcons, Cowboys, not much to talk about in this game. Clean sweep other than Dak Prescott. He may be going on IR, he may not be. Either way, Cowboys are going to go with Cooper Rush from now on. So it's looking like anybody that plays the Cowboys, we're probably going to have clean sweeps of them. Um, Cowboys also almost came back in that game, though. The Falcons literally almost blew that game. 27.
Falcons are, Falcons are known for blowing leads.
Yeah, we know that.
And Kirk
27-21 final.
game by more than one possession. With the Vikings too. So like he's never gonna blow a team out.
Yeah, that's fair. Denver and Baltimore. Everyone picked Baltimore. A lot of people were saying that this was supposed to be a really good game, and the Ravens just blew them out. Maybe if it was in Denver, Denver would have, not gotten blown out by 31, but here we are talking about how Bo Nix has gone back to reality. Um, Next game after that, we have Buffalo and Miami. Everyone went Buffalo. This was, did this, no, this game almost went into overtime.
Yeah.
And Tyler
Yes.
Bass walked it off white boy with it. He kicked a 61-yard game winner, even though he hasn't been able to kick anything all year compared to what he usually does. So that was odd. But anybody see that Tua went under his passing yards line projection on that last? That's a terrible beat.
That'd be for sure. Scott Van Pelt probably put it on late night Sports Center for sure.
Had to have Waddle lost like 21 yards on that last play or something, put him under his
He
passing yard
lost,
total.
I think he lost 25 yards because he had like two catches for -5 yards and a touchdown.
Oh, nice. It's
Very Jerome Bettis-esque of having 5 carries, no yards, and 2 touchdowns or whatever the hell he had that
true.
one game
True.
20 years ago.
A mention of the bus on the MozPod. Didn't expect it. as Joe Burrow just threw a pick in this game.
That is not the most obscure player that we've mentioned on this podcast.
Yeah, it's true. So the next game after that, which everyone was hating on me for this pick, Panthers beat the Saints. Like I said, Saints are such frauds. I expected this from the start. Jose apparently did as well. Um, Derek Carr was back for this game. He still looks like garbage. Just one of those NFC South games that nobody actually wants to watch, but it turned out to be a good battle between two horrible teams.
Derek Carr could help himself out by not taking his first read out with a hospital ball on the first drive of every game.
Yeah, it's very
You must hate Olave for throwing in that many absolute hospital balls.
Him.
well. Chris Olave his brother took to Twitter right away and was hating on Derek Carr, and so was Michael Thomas.
Dennis Allen
Dennis
fired.
Allen got fired. Yeah, all it takes is to lose to the Panthers. Wait, did he get fired before that game, or was it?
No.
Uh,
Immediately after. Come on now.
Now they've lost 7 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Bengals, Raiders, not much to mention in this game. Joe Burrow had 5 touchdowns. I know Nelson was excited about that. Not sure why Jose picked the Raiders, but it's just overly optimistic. Also not sure why I picked the Browns in this game because wow, they look like they're back to reality. Chargers might actually be pretty good though. Saw that stat with Jim Harbaugh and how he turns teams around, which we all knew that was going to happen. And it's basically foreshadowing what he's going to do with the Chargers. And let's see, Devin also picked them, Chris did, and Kobe did. Nobody on here. So, yeah, easy win for the Chargers in that one. Jameis still got his touchdown, though, so that's okay. I mean, he threw like 3 picks along the way, though, so that was tough. Josh, the Commanders and Giants game. Commanders almost blew it. I knew you picked the Giants last time in that game.
Yeah. Knew it'd be a close game, but at this point, we just trust Jaden Daniels a lot more than Daniel Jones. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Not much else to mention in that game other than the Commanders look like the clear favorites to win the NFC East because the Eagles almost ended up losing to the Jags. Brady, so Patriots, Titans. Drake May has one of the great elusive plays to send that game into OT, and then he throws an awful pick in OT. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think that was an awful pick. Personally, seeing some coverage back on it, receiver on the other side of the field fell down, allowing the safety to fly back there. And Kayshon Bouttie's a bitch for not going up there and trying to make a play on the ball. Making business decisions like that in overtime. I wouldn't be upset if he didn't get to play this next game. Set him down for the week.
Benching.
You're blaming him that much for that?
At least go up and try and make a play on the ball instead of just run behind it.
55 would have never done that.
Josh, as a former QB, I want to hear what you think of the pick.
I mean,
Josh
clearly wasn't a very good throw, if you ask me.
I don't.
What'd you say, Brady?
Oh, he doesn't see the safety sitting over top there.
That's what I mean. Like, if you ask
the safety wouldn't have been sitting over top if the other receiver didn't slip.
Oh,
are you just
maybe you shouldn't have thrown it then, right? But that's when you just don't throw that football.
Ball's in the air for that long, anyways. He probably hasn't time to track that. It's not like he left it's not like he. Yeah, I mean the
safety is still there.
All the time.
As soon as that guy falls, he should scramble and try to do something, not chuck it up.
I refuse to blame Drake May for that.
Yeah, okay.
He had 300 of their 315 yards.
And it's not even like that's a bad thing if Drake May. I mean, like, yeah, you lose the game, but like he's a rookie.
Who cares? You're gonna get a better draft pick anyways.
Yeah, but like you also got Mason.
You got to go through those mistakes, Nelson.
You also got Mason Rudolph on the other side balling out. So I mean,
all right.
No, but no.
Playing backup quarterback football.
Serious question. If it's Jacoby Brissett who's throwing that ball or Joe Milton, are you saying the same thing and defending Drake May so much?
Yes. Also,
All right.
Jacoby can't get the ball that far.
Hey,
Eh,
Jacoby's got an arm.
Joe
Jacoby
Milton
has-
definitely. Joe Milton
Milton could have
the
thrown
ball
that shit out the
far.
back of the end
I was
zone.
gonna say Milton
Got
would
a
have
fucking
ripped
cannon.
that shit through the post.
Well, anyway, enough time talking about that game. I'm glad the Titans won. Um, oh,
Nashville.
look at this. My weekly hate train for the Bears gets to continue. They looked like garbage. Caleb Williams still sucks. Not much else to mention. Cardinals are pretty good at home. Brady. Brady and Caden both picked the Bears in this one. Brady just talks. So what did you see in it?
Oh, well, didn't like COD come out last week?
It's
So
been
I
out for
Tyler
a
went
Make it
week
2
or
weeks.
so now. Yeah,
yeah,
2 weeks
I thought
maybe
Tyler
now.
went to be a lot shittier than he was. Um, and I don't really trust Kyler. I mean, Kyler didn't even play good, I guess, but I guess
James Conner.
Cardinals have had a couple weeks where they'll just pop up and play pretty good, and they look like a competent team. But that's the thing; you really just never know what Cardinals team you're going to get. So I would call them pretty frisky.
That's
We
fair.
have determined that they are frisky. Yes.
I believe they're leading the division currently as well.
Yes,
Oh
but
yeah,
I
they
don't.
are. That
I
division
don't.
is gross right now, but
I don't think that holds up. But
Rams still will win that division, I think. But I know Josh thinks Seattle's winning it.
Look at hot. DK's coming back.
Anyway,
Seattle will finish in the basement of that division.
not much else to talk about in that game besides the onside punt on the safety where everyone called for a fair catch. So I'm assuming that rule is going to get changed pretty soon in the NFL. Eagles Jags. This game was a lot closer than it should have been, and I think the Jaguars are a little bit better than people give them credit for because they came back and hung in with them, only lost by 5. But now Trevor Lawrence is hurt, so we get to see the Mac Jones show, which that's like going from a car from like the 70s to a car from like 2 years later in the 70s, like just some absolute shit box. And you're going from bad to either worse or equally as bad. So, yeah, Nelson and Josh, I know you both are. Josh, you're a big Trevor Lawrence guy. Nelson, you're a big Mac Jones guy, but I don't care. They both suck.
Yeah.
hey, Trevor
He's
Lawrence.
not terrible.
Last few weeks, though, Trevor Lawrence has been slinging that thing.
I'm
And
telling you.
I've watched a lot of Trevor Lawrence the last 2 weeks for no reason at all.
He's been down though. That's the thing. He's been down in every one of those games, so of course he just has to sling it. And
Yes, but he also really has the most fucking turnovers in the league that just aren't his fault at all. I'm not trying to say the guy's good. I think
He'll be good.
I think it's a big downgrade going to Mac Jones from Trevor Lawrence.
I don't think it's that big of a downgrade. They both
Right.
aren't great, but I don't think play calling is doing Lawrence that many favors either. When you're throwing your wide receiver 3 a fade route
Doug
at
Peterson.
the end of the game, that it's not setting your team up for success. I don't know how Brian Thomas doesn't get that play call.
Man, the Jags are a mess. Their defense is not good. Their Doug Peterson needs to go.
You said Quay Walker run the ball last week though on that turnover.
No, I must have
That's
missed that.
Travion Walker.
Yeah, Nelson. Yeah, Travion. Yeah, they honestly should put him in the backfield.
I mean, they got freaking Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby competing for a spot back there. So can it
I
get
think that's
much
the
worse
least
than
their
that?
worries.
Anyway, so Green Bay and Detroit. Detroit still looks like the best team, clearly. Jordan Love has one of the worst pick sixes I've ever seen in that game. He is literally Brett Favre 2.0.
About his one versus the Rams.
Yeah, the one versus the Rams. I don't know which one was worse out of those two. Based off like what down and right before halftime when it was, I think the one against the Lions had to have been like 10 times worse. Just because they were playing from behind after that the entire game, it would have only been a one possession game going into halftime. But Yeah, he screwed that up. I think they should have went with Malik Willis to begin with, but another big problem in that game was that they were out without their center in um a very wet and rainy game. So they had Elton Jenkins playing center. The amount of times that he like lost grip on the ball and snapped it straight into the ground and they almost fumbled it. It was literally like 3 or 4 times on big like third downs. So I don't know. It was annoying to watch that game in general, but like I said, Malik Willis should have been there. They're going into a bye this week. So, but Lions look like the best team still easily. The only other thing in that game that happened was the ejection. Um, Caden, what'd you think about that one?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you rarely see NFL guys get ejected or whatever even the call was. I guess the equivalent to targeting in college, which is also a stupid rule, but I was glad it was Brian Branch because at some point, even though the dude's a hell of a player, he needs to be humbled and someone needs to tell him to take that fucking ornament out of the top of his helmet. Like, guys don't wear their mouthpieces, and some people will have them dangling from their face mask, which is fine. But never have you seen a fucking clown ass wearing a mouth guard as an ornament on the top of their helmet. And guess what? It's dwindling down to the younger generation and getting worse. Last night I was watching a MAC game, and there was a fucking NIU defensive back with the mouth guard in the top of his helmet, like Brian Branch. I was like, look at what this sucker started. Even though it's Christmas time, get that goddamn ornament out of your helmet.
I knew that Caden would have something to say about that. That's why I called on him. So then Rams in Seattle. The Seahawks played this game much better than a lot of us expected, besides Caden, apparently. And Josh didn't go with his precious Seattle Seahawks, but Matthew Stafford goes and walks it off into, I think, Demarcus Robinson at the end of the game. This was a very entertaining game. Just one of those NFC West clashes that you see at the 3 o'clock hour of slate of games. Pretty good. Puka Nakua got ejected in like the first or second quarter for punching someone. Did not expect that out of him. Um, Josh, what'd you see in this game?
I'd just like shout out Jared Verse and Braden Fisk. The Rams done a great job replacing Aaron Donald, not by one player, but by two players. It's pretty impressive. The way they draft their young players, I'd shout out the Rams. They something Seattle wishes they could do.
I thought that Jared Verse was pretty much the steal of the draft, honestly. It was a very good pick by them. Um, Now the game that I have no care about talking about, the Colts and Vikings, disgusting Sunday night football game here. Um, Vikings kicker gets hurt in this game. Have they signed anybody?
Yeah.
John Parker Romo, baby.
Who is that?
XFL dude.
Yeah.
He
Makes
was in
sense.
training camp battling with the rookie, but they cut him before they even played the first preseason game.
I was gonna say I saw the Niners had just cut the Niners had just cut Anders Carlson, so I thought the Vikings were gonna take a little nab at him or
Want
Braden
that?
Nelson, perhaps.
I think this John Parker Romo dude wears a leg sleeve when he kicks, so
I think he's not terrible, actually. Got a little confidence in him.
Okay. Well, none of us picked the Colts, but does anybody see the that game turning out differently if Anthony Richardson plays instead of Flacco?
Yeah, they could have maybe run the ball. At least Anthony Richardson allows you to run the ball, and Jonathan Taylor can run the ball. Flacco's just statue back there and kind of tee off.
I mean, you might as well play Anthony Richardson now because that game kind of proved how
You
shit
might as well.
with Flacco because I don't think the Vikings necessarily played well. Sam Darnold played really shitty, really gave them every chance to be in the game, and Joe Flacco just couldn't do anything. So I don't really see the point of moving forward with Flacco, honestly.
That's fair. That AFC wild card race getting tightened up. And I don't even know if you can say that they're competing for anyone know what their record is off the top of their head?
4-5.
Oh, 4-5. They're better than I thought, I guess. But
They're still right behind the Texans,
I
I'm
was gonna
pretty
say
sure.
they got to be right behind the Texans.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe you put Anthony Richardson back in. Dylan would try to say that he told us so, but Dylan, he's still ass in any form of the word. So then Buccaneers and Chiefs. I picked the Buccaneers. I've been too optimistic on the Buccaneers all year long, especially against the NFL's golden team and the Chiefs, but I could not believe this. Well, I could believe the result of it, but how are you not going for two if you're Todd Bowles at the end of that game? You know damn well you're not going to get the ball in overtime if you're in Arrowhead.
That
Not
was so
a
soft.
chance.
So
Like
soft.
you just drove down the length of the field after having an awful like 3 minute intermission with the Sterling Shepard catch that was clearly a catch, and they were just trying to kill all the momentum in the game. It's like you go and you still score after that. How are you not just going for two? You're winning the game if you go for two, or you're gonna get screwed on I think Brady said it during the game, screwed on a PI on the next drive. Um, but yeah, that freaking pissed me off. I can't stand the Chiefs. I looked at their upcoming schedule. I can't wait for them to lose to Buffalo, Houston, um, potentially the Broncos this week. I don't know. They are not that good of a team. They seriously are not. And I'm trying to like not be so biased about it, but it's like you simply can't be because they're just not good. They've beat every team that they've played by literally one possession. I mean,
You don't think Hopkins helps him at all?
oh, Hopkins, I do think that his career is a little bit revived, and I hate that because I've never been that big of a DeAndre Hopkins guy, but I also think that he's completely washed. And now, if he comes in and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl because of the addition of him, that's just gonna piss me off even more, and I might stop watching the NFL altogether. Anyway, so let's look at the standings. A lot more people are tied this week. Nelson and Chris had the worst week out of anybody.
Just
Uh,
just out of curiosity, how
what,
did Kobe go 11-5?
what do you mean?
You have his record as 11-5. There was only 14 games or 15 games played this week.
Oh, I don't know. Typo, Brady. Anyway, Brady, you need to be more concerned about winning games and not concerned about graphics. Come on now.
I was just trying to make sure the graphics get counted correctly.
Yeah, good work, Nelson. Keep it up.
Ironic,
Anyway,
the
so Dylan
discrepancy
got
here, the one
closer.
verse.
Dylan got closer to me in the lead by one game. Um, he if if Todd Bowles isn't an idiot though, I would have extended my lead against him. Josh, you had a good week, but still 6 games back of the next guy, so
Yeah, it's tough to come back. You have to pick a super underdog, otherwise I'm gonna have to crawl back one game at a time.
that's very true. Weeks are running out. Caden, I've also been seeing you creep up on that ladder. I don't think anybody's
Well,
paying attention, but you're creeping up on that.
yeah, I was right there at the bottom, at the basement with Josh, but I have just been creeping up one game at a time. So, Josh, maybe you should have got on the train with me, but it might have left the station for you already, bud.
Looks like
Yeah,
you're right behind Nelson too, or actually, you're tied with Nelson right now. Honestly, should have put you on top of Brady because you had the better week.
True. It's
And
another graph.
I counted your
yeah,
stand.
this graphics dog shit. Get it
All
out of
kinds of
here.
fuck ups on the graphic.
Yeah.
All
Do
right,
we
so
question anything about the I think I question the entire graphic now at this point.
okay.
Are
Yeah,
the
it is
standings
wild how
correct?
you jumped out to this big lead and stayed up there right away.
Uh,
I can't help it. I put my picks out before anybody. I always have to wait on Josh every single week for the last person.
yeah,
I
yeah,
waited on you
yeah.
forever this week. Caden's the probably the best one about getting his picks in right away. Um, Josh and Brady wait around for the injury reports for whatever reason, you know.
We don't do this thing until Wednesday night at the earliest. You can wait until noon on Wednesday to get my picks.
Well, Josh makes me wait till about 4 o'clock on Wednesday, so
No, that's not
Don't
true.
lump me in with him.
That's not true. You snap me every Wednesday during work at noon. Give me your picks now.
that's because that's when Brady gets in. Brady's like close to last for his picks, so
And then I'm like, all right. And I don't think about it until then. I'm like, all right, shit. All right, better get on there.
All right. Anyway, so Thursday night game that's going on right now, Bengals and Ravens. We are not surprised by Brady picking the Bengals since he's the biggest hater of the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson in general.
That's
Uh,
not true.
that is true. But Bengals are currently winning that game at halftime. Nelson, what do you like? What are you seeing? Do you like what you see right now with it?
They're doing a good job on Henry. He's been bottled up, but he was bottled up for regulation of their matchup in week 5 too. So hopefully they can take this momentum into the second half and get me a win back.
Josh, are you watching this game?
Yes.
Did you see your precious Deontay Johnson not go out of bounds right before halftime? Otherwise, this could be a 14-10 game.
No, I didn't actually. I was so locked in on the pod. Sorry.
Fair enough.
Didn't he get tackled at like the 48-yard line?
Just good to see him in the game. I just thought he was going to be on the bench for the whole game.
Well, I don't know where he got tackled. I just looked up at the screen and I saw time running out because he didn't jump over the defender diving at him and get out of bounds. So then the Munich game that literally nobody cares about, probably not even Giants fans or Panthers fans care about this game. Most people went Giants. One of the points that was brought up to me by someone that didn't show up on this podcast was that Daniel Jones is very good when he plays in London or overseas, which I don't remember any of his stats when he does play overseas, but he's also playing the Panthers, who I picked last week, but I don't know. I kind of like what I see with the Giants week to week at times, so that's why I went the Giants. Brady, you picked the Panthers.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of forgot this game was in Munich when I picked it. I went with the home team between two shitty teams.
Brady, I feel like I'm going to be calling on you a lot this week.
Hey, trying to get back up there. I'll take my free squares though with Jets losing later.
Caden, it looks like you're going to go quite a few games out in front of Nelson on that tie this week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully can get
Yeah,
back to the
I
top
could
three.
see the Panthers winning this, honestly.
See, now I could see the Panthers winning this, but this next game, Panthers Bears. It took everything in me to pick the Bears in this game because I hate the Bears. But at the same time, you look at Caleb Williams and you look at Drake May. Who's the better quarterback?
I'm,
It's a good
I'm pretty sure Drake May's like 2 touchdowns behind him on the season, and he started 3 games instead of 10.
Yeah, I'd agree that Drake May is probably better, but you look at the defense, Bears is way better. The receiving core, Bears, running game, equally shitty, honestly. Tight ends, Bears, you know.
Oh, hold up. Hunter Henry's better than Komet.
We're not
That's an
living
irrelevant,
I
we're
agree.
not
irrelevant
living in
argument.
2019
No, I
anymore,
agree with
Brady.
Nelson. I always thought Komet was overrated.
Okay, if anything, they're equally as shitty because we're not living in 2019 anymore, Brady.
Thank you. Good call, Tim. Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying he's great, but Komet's a fucking bum.
I don't think we need to talk about who has the
Yes.
tight end position anyway.
Well, either way, the reason why I picked Chicago was because it's in Chicago and they just I don't know, this game is gross, but Brady, besides your personal bias, why'd you pick the Patriots?
I think they have the better quarterback, the better coaching staff, and the Bears suck. That after what they did in Arizona last week against a quarterback who spends most of his time playing COD, I think Drake May shouldn't have any problems.
Unless he throws a ball 50 yards down the field where he doesn't see the free safety just sitting over the top, but that's a conversation for later, I guess, and prior to this. Colts and Bills, not much to say about this game. Have we heard what the Bills are doing at quarterback or the Colts are doing at quarterback?
I think they're just staying, right?
Doesn't matter.
I
No,
think
it
they
doesn't
are going to
matter.
roll Flacco, actually.
Doesn't matter. Bills probably win this game by 2 touchdowns at least. Another game that might end in the same result. Jaguars and Vikings. I honestly was low-key considering picking the Jags in this one, but one, Mac Jones sucks if they actually are rolling with Mac Jones. Two, I don't know. The Jags have looked good the last few weeks, but I don't know. There's not really anything I have to say about this game, actually. The Jags being at home would help them a little bit, but either way, Mac Jones, he's not doing anything. Caden, what are you thinking about this?
I don't know. I just watched Anthony Edwards go on a 8-0 run himself
I
to
was thinking the same thing.
yeah, yeah, I did think it could be like a close game with Trevor Lawrence playing just because I said he's been playing like he hasn't been awful the past 2 weeks. So I'm not gonna say he's anything above average. And I do think Mac Jones is gonna be a fall off for the Jags. And Brian Flores is probably licking his chops going from Joe Flacco to Mac Jones.
It's a good point. So then Chiefs and Broncos. Kaysen picked the Broncos. Can anybody see this ending in an upset?
No, it's at home for Kansas City, fortunately.
Pretty sure the Broncos have a 1-game win streak against Kansas City currently.
Yeah, the
But no,
Broncos.
I think they get stomped.
Don't the Broncos normally like not only beat them? I feel like they blow Kansas City out once.
I have I have no idea. I know
Last year
I
they
don't
blew
know.
they
Kansas
beat
City
them.
out.
They
I
beat them
remember
on
that
Thursday Night Football or Monday Night Football a
one
couple
time.
ago. I know.
I'm pretty sure Kansas City has lost to Denver like once since Mahomes took over. It's usually the Chargers that they'll lose a game to.
Raiders, they're always bad against the Raiders too. Huh.
Patrick
Oh,
Mahomes versus Denver.
Caden's looking it up real time right now.
Yeah, yeah, Nelson's right. That doesn't even make. Oh, I suppose he probably didn't start one game, but he's 12-1. But wait, what the fuck? Keep talking, Tim. I'll come back. Keep
Okay.
talking.
Well, I would keep talking, but there's not much to say about the next game because it's the Falcons Saints. I don't think there has to be anything mentioned about this game. Falcons should blow them out. Um, One of the more interesting games after that, though, is the 49ers and Buccaneers. I'm finally getting off the Buccaneers train this week. Josh Deontay Johnson just fell down when he was wide open in this game. He's not very good. Wow. Anyway,
Yeah, that field looks shitty. I said that a long time ago. I will say that. This
It's a
game
shame
feels
that it's a
strong.
shame that he has to play there for the rest of the season. Then
It's fine.
yeah, he was wide and he just, yeah, it was bad. Um,
I don't know if I'm behind you guys or what.
Christian McCaffrey's supposed to be back this week, but I hope that he doesn't actually play because I'm playing Josh in fantasy this week. So, Mr. Run CMC himself. Um, I don't know if Christian McCaffrey doesn't play, I could see the Bucks maybe winning this just because it's at Raymond James, but yeah,
I feel like there's a bunch of guys for San Francisco that are up in the air. Aren't Debo and whatever that other receiver's name is?
Jennings, I saw a 3rd and 1.
Jennings, they're questionable.
Yeah, I would expect both of them to play. I expect CMC to play. I expect the Niners to win by a lot.
okay, well, Josh
I
might
don't
be
think
a
they win.
closet.
I don't think they can win by a lot.
Josh is just a closet NFC West fan for some reason,
I am. I do like that whole division.
but Brady, since you think that there might be injuries, do you see Baker winning this game?
If all of those guys don't play and McMillan does play for Tampa, I can see them winning.
Jalen McMillan's such a big factor.
They have nobody in that receiver room, so they
Yeah.
kind of need him.
They don't need anybody in the receiver room when they have Cade Otton at tight end.
Yeah, Kate Otton's going to be having nightmares after Fred Warner fucks his shit up.
Uh,
Cotton loves that challenge.
Kid on a tough guy.
I agree.
Dude, like I said, I've seen that guy just take hits left and right. And he just gets up every time, and no bullshit with him. He just throws the ball to the ref and keeps it going. Um, so then the next best game of the week probably here is the Commanders and Steelers. And we're about as equally split as I thought we would be in this. I'm not surprised whatsoever that Caden and Josh and Mikkel all went with the Steelers here.
Why is that?
Not surprised that Brady went with, or not Brady, that Dylan went with the Commanders. As Jamar Chase Jamar Chase just got a tutty. Anyway,
Dude,
Why
you're
do you
like
say
3
that?
plays ahead of us. You could not do that.
I just saw that as you were calling it, Tim.
I know I was about to go in full commentator mode on it, honestly, but I decided not to.
And Rudy Gobert got a and one on Kobe White at the same time.
Never mind, Tim. Do play-by-play so Caden can't. No one cares about this Minnesota game.
That's pretty bad when you got two of the biggest T-Wolves fans in here, Nelson.
Mhm.
You wouldn't win that battle.
You should expect that, Nelson.
This game's in Washington. I don't know. Do you guys think that Jaden Daniels, I don't think he's faced a defense like the Steelers, which is probably your reason why you guys picked the Steelers. But Brady, what do you think about, okay, let's say if Justin Fields is at quarterback in this game, are you picking the Commanders still?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not too proud to admit that Washington is much better than I thought they were going to be to begin the year.
I thought you were going to say Russ is better than Justin Fields there, Nelson.
No, I would be ashamed to tell that lie to people.
Well, either way, I think both of these teams, I shouldn't say both, but I think the Commanders, they're going to end up making the playoffs and probably get bounced in the first round just because they're inexperienced in the playoffs. The Steelers, I just hate because they take up a playoff spot every single year, and it's like I feel like they're not that good of a team every single year. But this year, I will be cheering for them to make the playoffs because I feel like they could legitimately beat the Chiefs because I think Patrick Mahomes would have absolute nightmares going against TJ Watt and now the recent addition of Preston Smith as well. Um, Josh, why'd you pick Schittsburg in this?
Yeah, I think their D line should dominate. Obviously, it's going to be tough to contain Jaden Daniels as he's quite fast, but they do a pretty good job at rush integrity, collapsing that thing right on him. And yeah, I trust Danger Russ to get the job done.
Caden, I know you're just anticipating saying something over there about Danger Russ Wilson, so let's hear it.
Mr. Unlimited. Might as well pick him till he gives us a reason not to pick him.
Yup.
You got Mace McCormick just plugging, well, actually paving holes in the
I
middle
was he's plugging them.
on inside for Najee Harris, corn-fed boy out of South Dakota, paving the way. Najee's had a resurgence this year, kind of. Probably because of Mason McCormick paving those holes. And Addison Hirschman, she might be in attendance, waving a towel. Maybe she'll go out to DC. I don't know. Oh, also, Bo Nix is or not Bo Nix. Patrick Mahomes is 1-12 in his career against the Broncos. But that one loss was the most recent time they played, and he lost 24-9.
Thank you for a report on that.
I know the people were waiting for me to get back to them on that. So,
Well, you started saying 1-12, and I was like, wait a second, what? What team is he 1-12 again?
I was really confused as well.
yeah.
But Brady, I have to ask, how mad were you that McCormick got picked up by the Steelers?
I was just happy to have SDSU players get picked. I didn't really care where they went.
Good situation, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might have his number retired with people like Jack Ham and everything.
I will say I was a little bit disappointed when both Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis went to the Jets. I was hoping Davis to get a better shot to be a two-back somewhere.
Yeah, that's fair. Another horrible game this week. Titans and Chargers. I need to get the new statistic of what the record is when we pick one team in the entire week, because I know it was 9-9 at one point in the year, but it's definitely over 500 at this point.
I feel like we've gotten better at that.
Yeah, we have gotten a little bit better. There's only been a couple of times where since then where we've all had a loss in the column. Chargers Titans, there is literally nothing to say about this game. It's not even in Tennessee, which, like we were saying last week, Nashville's a tough place to play. But
Really?
SoFi probably is too. Will there be more Titans fans or Chargers fans? Because I don't think I've ever met anyone that's a Titans fan.
Yeah, I don't know.
This has to be this has to be the least attended game this week, probably, besides maybe the Falcons and Saints.
Falcons Saints is a division game that'll still sell out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They might be going at like 60% capacity in SoFi this weekend.
Nah, they might throw a party on Dennis Allen's grave in there, actually.
Yeah, true. So Brady, the next game, Aaron Rodgers returning to the desert. Why do you not think he picks up the win against Arizona?
The Jets are a bad team. Plain and simple. I really hope the Cardinals win so we can completely put to rest this idea of them running the table. Not that they'll be mathematically eliminated, but they will be practically eliminated from playoffs with a loss this week.
Well, it doesn't help that they're in that absolute god-awful division where the Bills are currently, what, 5 games ahead of everybody else? Isn't every other team?
I think it's 4. I think it's 4, but yeah, I get your point.
I think it's 4, yeah.
It doesn't matter because it's just going to grow after this week anyway. Besides maybe the Jets, because I'm rolling with the Jets because, like I said, Aaron Rodgers is about to run the table. He just went into Houston and beat them. Him and Devontae Adams looked a lot better connecting. Brees Hall eventually is going to end up losing his RB1 spot to Braylon Allen, I believe.
That's a hot take.
I don't think it's a hot take, really. I mean, Braylon Allen, his chances, he's kind of outplayed Brees Hall this year for the few chances that he has gotten. But yeah, I don't know. Garrett Wilson looks good. I'm glad he's on my fantasy team, but I'm not glad that him and both Devontae Adams are on my fantasy team. So if someone wants to make a realistic trade for Adams, please do. Caden, why'd you pick the Jets?
You know, Mr. Magic Man, Aaron Rodgers, and let's be honest, can the Cardinals put it together like they did last week, 2 weeks in a row? I don't really think so.
Desert's a tough place to play. I don't know. It's a
Is
long
that
flight from New York.
Josh,
Huh?
I told you this last week. It's that stadium up in the middle of nowhere in Glendale. It's just senior citizens who goes to those games, and
It's where teams go to die.
it
It's where
takes
teams go to
seniors
die.
take naps during those. There's
And
not
then Jonathan Gannon walks
Can't even
in there
see it.
with his explosives. Pew, pew. James Conner,
When the Cardinals are
DiMarco,
on offense,
Trey
they can't
Benson.
keep the quarterback from their
Pew,
nose.
pew, pew.
Caden brings up a good point that the only people that attend those games are the people that go to Arizona for the winter time from like Minnesota. But I don't know. What was Josh even rambling about there?
Something about Gannon.
Explosives. Shots. Pew.
Okay, Josh, if you're so oh wait, no, you picked the Cardinals too.
I did. That's why I was saying I like their run game. James Conner, DiMarco, Trey Benson, Kyler running around, Maserati Marv. This Jets defense looks pretty weak. They can't stop the run.
I don't know why we're naming RB3s when they hardly even touch the field.
Did you see his run last week?
I did name like 50-yard touchdown last week.
I didn't need to last week because he was playing the Bears. That game was the
The
least.
vaunted Bears defense.
Well, anyway, we got another one that's just a one-sided thing here with the Cowboys and Eagles. Um, if Dak Prescott plays, would anybody change their
So
mind?
I just looked this up. Cooper Rush is 5-1 in his career when he starts.
One
Ah.
loss is Philly.
Oh, that was when their team was still good, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, that doesn't change anything for me either. So
So you're not changing your pick to Dallas, even though you're talking about how you need to get a little bit different from all these people picking.
I still got to pick right.
To
Uh,
be fair, Josh, that 5-1 Cooper Rush thing, his one loss is Philly.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a fair point.
Nelson, how do you just have a stat in your head? Why do you know anything about Cooper Rush?
Yeah, I don't know how he knew that.
Can
Uh,
we get a fact check on this?
Fact check it. I know it was right.
I
The year
believe.
the Eagles made the Super Bowl.
That would probably be hard to look up. It would be like, who did Cooper
Cooper
Rush
Rush
do in
stats.
5 starts? He started with the
I mean,
Cowboys.
just do his
Probably
game log. It's 6 games.
3 different fucking things. Because I don't know, has Cooper Rush made any other career starts?
I don't know.
He's been with
Pretty-
Dallas his whole career, so I don't.
We can move on.
Yeah. We'll move on to Brady and Caden, who picked the Texans in this one. Caden said, and I quote, how do you like that Texans pick? Bet I'm the only one that did that. But we should have known that Nelson had to be different, just like, you know. So, Caden, why'd you go with Houston?
Well, I think after a pretty embarrassing performance on Thursday Night Football, they get a long or not a long, I mean the mini bye, I guess, if that's what we're calling it now. And the
10,
Lions
10
are now
game,
on the road.
10 day
Sorry,
thing.
it's hard for me to talk because I'm just watching Rob Dillingham dribble the ball and it's mesmerizing, yo-yoing between his legs and shit. Anyways, I saw the Texans put out the jerseys they're going to be wearing. It's like those red jerseys, and on their Twitter or X, whatever we're calling it, there was something that said like fight in there. So I think after an embarrassing loss last week, the Texans are going to bring the fight this week, and the Lions, now second consecutive week on the road. Everyone's been telling them how great they are. Yeah, Zadarius Smith, cool. I don't really care. That dude might have 3 weeks of productivity left in him before he drops off. We all know how that goes. So I'm rolling the dice a little bit here, calling the upset.
All right, Nelson, why'd you go with Houston?
I think Nico is supposed to be back. That was a big part of why. And I feel like after that big emotional win, proving they can win outdoors in Green Bay last week, they're due for a little bit of a setback. And Houston really needs a get right game. Stroud needs to ball out to remind people how good he actually is.
Brady,
I think he's due for a big game.
are you Nico Collins' biggest fan?
He might be.
Go blue.
Wasn't there someone else on this pod, Tim, that said Nico was the best receiver in the league? And it wasn't
I
Nelson?
think it was
It
Devin
wasn't me.
that said that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it might have been Devin.
I think
I
Devin.
like Nico a lot, but he's not in the top 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I picked the Lions
Yeah.
because you got Dan Campbell as a leader. I will say it's Dan Campbell against D'Amico Ryans, two intriguing head coaches, but I don't know. I'm not a big believer in the Texans this year. And like I said before, the Lions literally look like the best team in the league, and I feel like it's not even close. As the Ravens are also getting beat by the Bengals right now, 21-7. So it's like, who even is good in the league right now? And I still will refuse to say that the Chiefs are good also, so don't even try saying them. Josh, why'd you pick Detroit?
Yeah, it's the difference between offensive lines right here.
Big offensive line guy.
Trenches in National Football League. Timmy, you know this.
But CJ Stroud has a lot more mobility compared to Jared Goff, so you don't think that plays a
Yeah.
factor at all?
No, Jared Goff's playing inside in a dome. He's
Uh,
as elusive as he needs to be.
Did anyone see what Will Anderson's injury ended up being?
No, but
I
he's
don't
got
think he even
like
played. He was
bro.
came in questionable and like hardly played.
I was gonna say he's got hurt like 3 weeks in a row now.
Hmm
He got hurt in that Jets game I saw.
Anybody else just see that random Commanders fan in the broadcast?
No, we'll see it in 30
I
seconds.
would say we'll get there now.
Yeah, just be
I'll be
watching.
looking for it now.
Yeah, so that's Sunday night football. It's probably gonna be a pretty good game. So in the Monday night football game, I was surprised that nobody besides Chris went with the Dolphins here. I'm surprised Brady didn't because, Brady hates Tua, so maybe I'm not surprised. But
Rams are my NFC West pick too.
well, I know that you love to be different with your picks, so I expected something out of it. But
That's why
um,
I picked Carolina.
and the Patriots
That was a homer pick.
and the Cardinals.
There was 4 of us that picked that game.
Yeah, well, for you that would be
Half
wrong.
of us on this podcast.
Well, Rams, not much to talk about in this game. Just oh wait. Did you guys realize that the game is at SoFi? There's a game Sunday afternoon at SoFi, then a game Monday night at SoFi. That's kind of crazy.
They did that at MetLife a couple weeks ago.
I feel like that actually
They
probably.
don't change the midfield logo. They don't change the midfield logo at MetLife though.
Well, I bet they can change that stuff in the end zones pretty quick. I mean, they have all morning Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
You know how much those NFL teams probably hired so many guys to get out there and change that shit in an hour.
Probably not hard to swap out turf like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not like it's grass.
They probably do much harder things. They probably go from like concerts and shit back to the NFL venues.
Does anybody have anything to say about the Dolphins in this game?
Yeah, Mike McDaniel's kind of a poser. I don't know. What's your thoughts
Uh,
on him, Tim?
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I don't know. Does he still have that Jufro going on? I haven't seen pictures of him in a while.
I don't know.
yes.
Hmm. Well, I don't know. Was that thing about him last year going up in the stands real when they were beating the Broncos by 70 or whatever? I doubt it, but
Chase Brown fumble.
I know I saw that. I didn't want to announce it for everyone that's salty. That's
Well, thanks, Tim.
30 seconds behind.
Yeah, let me see how far I am with you. Lamar just snapped the ball on 1st and 10, drops back to pass. He hits who is that? Zay Flowers out there?
Babe, you
No,
babe.
but
You guys are way ahead of me.
Yeah, me and you are on the same, Caden.
you guys just got it. What are you guys? Do you guys have like the antennas sticking up from your TVs? Is that how you're getting your?
No, it's on the computer, but
Yes,
It's count down from 6:33 right now.
No, I'm in lockstep with you, Tim.
they're still replaying the fumble for me.
cute, real cute.
Jeez, yeah.
Me and Nelson are lockstep.
Derrick Henry's just
Henry
bulldozed.
getting active. Ah!
That's big for my keeper league team. Yeah, Mike McDaniels, I don't really have any feeling on him. I think he's kind of annoying, but he's better than I don't even know if I'd say that. I literally have no feeling on the guy. I just don't like his Jufro that he's got going on.
I have a lot less respect for him after how bad that team looked without Tua.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I don't have any more respect for Tua, by the way, so don't get it twisted. Tua sucks in my mind.
Oh, fuck.
So I know me and Josh are both disappointed with our favorite teams on a bye this week.
It took me a second there. Like, wait, what?
So and McKell's team is on a bye too with his precious Las Vegas Raiders. So does anybody have anything else to say? Because I don't even know if I have one of those best things that I saw.
Between Geno Smith, Jordan Love, Jameis Winston, and whoever plays quarterback for the Raiders are missing out on a lot of good interceptions.
Ha, it's very true.
Tim,
And
did you?
I included Gino for all you guys.
Caden, did you see that Lamar
Yeah.
tutty?
Lamar just ran back like no kidding. Yeah, you guys will see it, but
Yeah, thanks for that.
ran backwards like 30 yards and then pretty much ran it into the end zone on
Remember
first.
when they played week 5 and he had that touchdown pass when he stiff armed Sam Hubbard and everything?
We could
Yes.
have an MVP discussion.
And honestly, yeah, that looked like that play almost, but he took it on his legs this time.
Was it on second down?
It looks like first down. I don't know. Was that on first or second down?
Oh, because Henry just got the first down, I think.
Well, second
Well,
down
Oh,
right
I thought
now.
a touchdown. That's okay. That's
they
Derrick.
marked him short, but I mean,
That's Derrick Henry points for me. I'm fine with it.
in there anyways.
We
No
need it
way.
to
He
not go
got
to
that
Henry.
corner still?
Yeah,
That's
Josh.
still crazy. Holy shit.
Brady, are you scared of your Bengals pick now?
No.
Josh, that play kind of reminded you in on Friday nights.
No, I didn't do a whole lot of running on Friday
Didn't run
nights.
around for 30 yards and then throw it to one of the Yankees.
I didn't
All
do
you need
much
to do
running.
is throw a little 3-yard pass to the Yankees and watch them work.
Yeah, I was more Jared Goff football in high school.
Meanwhile, Brady Nelson was in the trenches on defense. We're not even talking about him.
Exactly.
Remember,
55.
do we remember the kickoff though?
Boom.
What was that, O'Gorman?
We don't need to talk about that.
That was like what? Our sophomore year, Nelson, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, sophomore year.
Some big matter trucker.
Josh, when do you think that picture of your background was? Is that right before the O'Gorman game, 2016?
True false
That's senior year.
Yeah, it's first T. I don't remember what year.
That one's senior year.
I saw Milwaukee Bucks won tonight.
Well, they end
Oh,
up
congrats.
big time second win of the year. All right, anyone else got anything to say?
Best thing I saw this week was probably Jamie Erdahl blowing that horn.
Yeah, I'm not surprised on that one. We'll have to do the Bucks won by 23. Wow, they put it together finally. We'll have to do our obscure NFL player things one of these weeks or something because, well, it'd probably be a good week to do it this next week because there's 4 teams on a bye this week, so our recap is going to be shorter, probably. So I'll figure out the criteria for that and we can do that.
Maybe
Yeah,
someday
you
we
better.
should from we should get like 5 people and do the live Nelson would remember this when me, Nelson, and Jack used to do the rest of the season playoff predictor thing.
We could do that.
Nothing quite like sleep deprivation and doing that shit.
Yeah. After Sunday night football, we'd rip through the rest of the league.
Caden, I'm just excited for March Madness and we're gonna take a beer for every game that we have wrong in our brackets. Remember that?
Yeah.
Still
Might
got
be a tough year for you, Buns, after how fantasy's going. That 12-12 is gonna be rough.
True. How does that even work again? Is there a toilet bowl?
I think it was just worst record.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
did worst record and like least points for or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah,
Cast our
I'll have to do that on I'll have to do that on Super Bowl Sunday, actually. It could be kind of fun.
Just make watching the Chiefs play tolerable.
That's what I mean. Super.
All right, well, we'll be back next week, hopefully with more people on. As always, appreciate you guys for showing up and we'll be back next week.